Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
Washington Post World.
September 19, 5:03 America, New York. Taliban freed from Guantanamo. Claims exchanged for American. A senior Taliban detainee held at Guantanamo Bay says he was released and handed over to the Taliban in Kabul, in exchange for an American prisoner held in Afghanistan.
New York Times World News.
September 19, 5 o'clock America, New York. Europe's energy crisis forces factories to go dark. Manufacturers are furloughing workers and shutting down lines because they can't pay the gas and electric charges. Glass stems on a conveyor belt at Arc International in France.
New York Times World News.
September 19, 5 o'clock America, New York. Jenny Xie explores the subversive power of the concealed and the overlooked. In her new poetry collection, The Rupture Tense, Xie peeks at the past, her family's and China's, to examine the consequences of how we see, and also what we allow to remain unseen. A lot of things remained hidden by people who became accustomed to living inside these dead silences, Xie said.
https://globalnews.ca/feed/. September 19. 5 o'clock America, New York. Watch live. The funeral for Queen Elizabeth II. Global News is covering Queen Elizabeth II's funeral and the subsequent ceremony in Ottawa. Britain Royals.
Mirror World News.
September 19. 4:40 America, New York. Hurricane Fiona slams Puerto Rico as footage shows entire bridge being washed away. Footage shows a metal bridge being dragged along in Puerto Rico as Hurricane Fiona causes complete chaos on the island, with homes being left without power, and one life taken.
BBC News World.
September 19, 4:31 America, New York. Japan storm. 9 million people told to evacuate as super typhoon Nanmadol hits. Nanmadol is one of the worst typhoons ever to strike Japan, with flooding and landslides expected.
BBC News World.
September 19, 4:22 America, New York. Ukraine claims control of key Oskil River on frontline. Russia's army has been almost completely pushed out of Ukraine's northeastern Kharkiv region. Washington Post World.
September 19, 4:12 America, New York. Prince George, Princess Charlotte to join great-grandmother's funeral. 2 children of William and Kate will attend Queen Elizabeth II's funeral along with Meghan, Harry and other royals.
New York Times World News.
September 19, 2:48 America, New York. Queen Elizabeth II funeral. Schedule of events for the day. The funeral for Queen Elizabeth II will begin at 11 a.m. on Monday, followed by a procession across central London. Queen Elizabeth II has been lying in state at Westminster Hall since Wednesday.
Mirror World News.
September 19, 2:48 America, New York. Furious Tesla owner, locked out of car told he must pay £22,700 for new battery. Mario Zelaya took to TikTok to share his fury after he says he was locked out of his £122,600 Tesla after the battery went dead, meaning that he was unable to sell the car.
Mirror World News.
September 19, 2:42 America, New York. Woman handed lifetime ban by Airbnb after criminal conviction found in background check. Bethany Hallam, 23, has been handed a lifetime ban by Airbnb and says she feels the holiday rental company is discriminating and punishing her for her past criminal conviction.
Washington Post World.
September 19, 2:17 America, New York. Iran police fire tear gas at protest over death in custody. Iranian police have fired tear gas to disperse a rally in the western, mainly Kurdish city of Sanandaj, where protesters were decrying the death of a young woman while in police custody in Tehran last week.
The Washington Times stories. Advocacy.
September 19, 1:35 America, New York. Britain and the world to lay Queen Elizabeth II to rest. Britain and the world are laying Queen Elizabeth II to rest on Monday at a state funeral that will draw presidents and kings, princes and prime ministers, and up to 1 million people lining the streets of London to say a final goodbye to a monarch whose 70-year reign defined an age.
BBC News World.
September 19, 1:26 America, New York. Taiwan earthquake. Trains derailed and buildings collapse as island shakes. At least one person has died and 146 were injured as earthquakes rattle the island.
Time.
September 19. 004 America, New York. President Joe Biden says the U.S. would defend Taiwan in the event of an unprecedented attack. U.S. military forces would defend Taiwan if there was an unprecedented attack, President Joe Biden said, underscoring America's commitment to the island as Chinese incursions mount near its shores.